Now the news in detail. Divers have reportedly found the remains of a Kingston Wharves employee who went aboard a ship on Tuesday night. The police have confirmed that Scott Boomberry's body was recovered. According to a statement from Kingston Wharves Limited, an employee went overboard on July 12 about 10:05 p.m. while performing duties as a stevedore on board a vessel parked at berth 8. The St. Elizabeth police have ramped up their search for a man who was among two others that abducted and raped a teenage girl in the Vineyard district in the parish in June of this year. Two of the men allegedly involved in the incident were arrested and charged with abduction and rape. Charged are 26-year-old Troyan Lewis, also known as Juby, and 56-year-old Andrew Miller, also called Man Ayad, both of Vineyard District, St. Elizabeth. Their court date has not yet been finalized. According to the St. Elizabeth Police, they are following several leads and are coordinating with officers from other police divisions to detain the third man. Reports were that sometime after 1 p.m. on June 16, the teen was chasing cows from her yard onto the main road when Miller, Lewis, and another man approached her in a motorcar. Lewis allegedly exited the vehicle and forced her inside the car. Then the teen was taken to a house where she was sexually assaulted. A report was made to the police and an investigation launched. Both men were apprehended separately and later charged following interviews. Meanwhile, a curfew has been imposed in the Whitfield Town community, Kingston 11, which is policed by the St. Andrew South Division. The curfew began at 6 p.m. on Thursday and will remain in effect until 6 p.m. on Saturday, July 16. The boundaries for the curfew are as follows: north along Wellington Road from Waltham Park Road to Maxfield Avenue, south along Spanish Town Road from Maxfield Avenue to Waltham Park Road, east along Maxfield Avenue from Wellington Road to Spanish Town Road, west along Waltham Park Road from Spanish Town Road to Wellington Road. The police are advising that during the hours of the curfew, all persons with the boundaries of the curfew are required to remain within their premises unless otherwise authorized in writing by the ground commander. You're listening to Morning News on Suncity 104.9 FM. The time is now 5 minutes after 7 and we continue with regional news. The Seismic Research Center, SRC, of the St. Augustine campus of the University of the West Indies, UWI, has reported that an earthquake with magnitude of 5.8 rattled Trinidad and Tobago on Thursday afternoon. It said that the quake, which occurred at 3:16 p.m., was at a depth of 98.1 kilometers. It was located at 10.78 degrees north and 62.48 degrees west. There have been no immediate reports of injuries or damages, and residents in Grenada also reported feeling the quake. Meanwhile, U.S. officials on Wednesday approved a request by American Airlines to resume flights to 5 destinations in Cuba that were stopped in 2019 when Donald Trump administration sharply curtailed air service between the two countries. The Transportation Department decision will let American Airlines resume flights from Miami to Santa Clara, Veradero, Holguin, Camagüey, and Santiago de Cuba. American Airlines said that starting in early November, it will operate 2 daily flights to Santa Clara and 1 daily flight to each of the other airports. American Airlines currently operates 6 flights a day between Miami and Havana. JetBlue and Southwest also fly to Havana. The Trump administration, which wanted to starve Cuba's regime of cash, suspended flights between the U.S. and destinations in Cuba other than Havana. 2 months ago, the Biden administration reversed that decision and announced it would loosen restrictions on U.S. travelers to the island. On the international scene, hundreds more people were evacuated from their homes as wildfires continue to rage out of control in southwestern France, according to authorities on Friday morning. More than 1,000 firefighters, supported by 9 water bomber aircraft, have been battling since Tuesday to master two blazes fanned by scorching heat, tinderbox conditions, and strong winds. The fires have already burned 7,300 hectares, or about 18,000 acres, a total that increased by 2,000 hectares or 5,000 acres overnight, according to authorities. Another wildfire that broke out near the southeastern town of Tarascon on Thursday and burned at least 1,000 hectares or 2,500 acres has been stabilized, according to the firefighters. Wildfires also raged across Portugal, Spain, and Croatia, burning homes and threatening livelihoods as much as Europe, baked in a heat wave that has pushed temperatures into the mid 40 degrees Celsius in some parts. One of the two Gironde fires was around the town of Landiras, south of Bordeaux, where 4,200 hectares have been burned, roads closed, and an extra 480 residents evacuating, bringing the total there to almost 1,000. The other blaze, which has already burnt 3,100 hectares or nearly 7,700 acres, was along the Atlantic coast close to Dune du Plat, the tallest sand dome in Europe in the Arcachon Bay area, above which heavy clouds of dark smoke were seen rising into the sky. About 6,000 people were evacuated surrounding campsites on Wednesday and another 4,000 people on Thursday morning. 3 houses and 2 restaurants were destroyed overnight in that area. Also, in news and sports, Jamaica's Reggae Girls were beaten 3-0 by Canada in their CONCACAF Women's Championship semifinal match in Monterrey, Mexico on Thursday night. Jessie Fleming in the 18th minute, Alicia Chapman in the 64th minute, and Adriana Leon in the 74th minute were the scorers for the Canadians, who led 1-0 at halftime. Goalkeeper Rebecca Spencer had a fairly good game for the Reggae Girls, as she made several key saves to restrict the Canadians to just 1 goal in the first half. The Reggae Girls, who started the match with the country's top scorer Khadija Shaw on the bench, had 1 shot on goal in the first half compared to their opponents' 5. The Jamaicans were once again kept on the back foot by the Canadians in the second period. Chapman increased their advantage with a powerful header before Leon wrapped up the victory 10 minutes later. The Canadians will face the United States in the finals on Monday at 9 p.m., and the Americans also blanked Costa Rica 3-0 in the first semi-final. Meanwhile, Jamaica will oppose Costa Rica at 6 p.m. on Monday to decide the third-place playoff. Also in sports, with the World Athletics Championships 2022 set to begin today, Friday, July 15 in Eugene, Oregon, the Suncity News Center has some updates on some of the big names sad to miss out. Botswana's 2012 Olympic 800-meter silver medalist Nigel Amos has been suspended by the Athletics Integrity Unit after testing positive for a banned substance. The 28-year-old Amos was in the U.S. preparing for the World Athletics Championships, which began in Eugene, Oregon on Friday. The 2014 Commonwealth Games gold medalist failed an out-of-competition test taken last month. The sample contained a substance called GW1516, which can boost endurance. GW1516, a metabolic modulator, was banned for human use in 2017 and is prohibited by the World Anti-Doping Agency, WADA. Originally developed to treat obesity and diabetes, the drug was found to cause cancer during clinical trials on animals and was added to WADA's prohibited list in 2009 after its illicit use as a doping agent emerged. Amos was due to race in the 800 meters heats on July 20. Meanwhile, in local world champs updates, Olympic discus throw finalist Chad Wright is expected to return to the U.S. Embassy in Kingston on Friday, where he hopes that an appeal for a U.S. entry visa will be granted. The former national and NCAA champion, while at the University of Nebraska, is racing against the clock to get to Eugene, Oregon by Sunday, when he's due to take part in the first round of the men's discus throw, set to start at 5 p.m. local time. According to the Jamaica Observer on Wednesday morning, that Wright, who qualified for the World Championships by his world rankings, was having visa issues. Sources later told the Observer that an appeal was filed on Wright's behalf and he was given a new date to appear at the embassy on Friday. In the meantime, national discus champion Travis Michael and 2019 World Championship silver medalist Frederick Dakers have been in Eugene since last week. From the Suncity News Center, I'm Judah Francis. In foreign exchange trading news this morning, the foreign exchange trading day ended with $1 retailing for $152.44. The Canadian dollar closed the trading day at $116.78, while the pound sterling retailed at $181.23. Now, to end this newscast, we take a look at the main stories once more. On the local scene, body of Kingston Wharves worker recovered from sea. St. Elizabeth police searching for third man in rape of teen. Curfew imposed in a section of St. Andrew South. On the regional scene, earthquake rattles twin island nation of Trinidad and Tobago. U.S. approves American Airlines flight to more cities in Cuba. On the international scene, hundreds evacuated from homes as wildfires spread in France. And in sports, Reggae Girls blanked by Canada 3-0. And that's it for news and sports from the Suncity News Center at this time. Do join us again at midday for more news on this station. Do remember to follow us on all our socials on Instagram and Twitter. Look for us at Suncity104.9 FM and on Facebook at Suncity Radio 104.9 FM. I'm Jada Francis from the Suncity News Center. Do stay tuned for more right here on the Suncity Morning Show.
That was the morning news on the Sun.